all, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about XD share links in Adobe XD. And the reason why is because there are a lot of new features that have been released over the past 2 years, and it might be useful for you all to know them. And it's an easy way to get critique or share a presentation file or sharing development assets for the developers of your product. We're going to go over all of the basics of sharing a link in XD and ways to utilize XD's features. For starters, I just have this very basic 2-screen presentation, and I want to share it as several different types of links, and so we'll go over all of the different types along the way. But for starters, just 2 screens. I have my presentation title screen, and then I have the conclusion. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But the thing is that I have more information that I might want to share later on down the road, but I don't want everyone to see it. So I can create a separate link for that information about me, because I don't want everyone to know my favorite emojis. But, as you can see, I do have my emojis connecting to the title screen. So, in that theory, if we create 2 separate share links, the second share link might include all 4 of these screens, rather than just the About Me screens. The share links have everything to do with what artboards are connected, so if I have this artboard connected here, it will be included in our About Me link. But if I don't have any connections going to the emoji screen from this presentation, this screen will not be included. And in order to make a share link, we need to create flows. Every flow is capable of being shared. So we're going to give a name to this. We are going to make a separate flow for the About Me. And now, in order to view what is included in each share link, I'm going to select the My Presentation because I want to make sure that the emoji is not going to be included in the share link. I go onto the Share tab in the top left corner. And here you can see that My Presentation is selected and all of the artboards included in My Presentation have been selected. And so as you can see, all of the About Me screens are not included in this link. If we go to the About Me flow, everything is connected because the My Favorite Emoji screen links off to My Presentation, which links off to this one. So all 4 of those are going to be included in the About Me link, but not all of them are going to be included in the My Presentation link. The neat thing about the Share tab is that if you're having difficulty finding a straight artboard that is randomly being connected to your share link, like maybe there's an artboard that was accidentally shared into a client file that you didn't want, but you don't know how it's being linked or connected to the prototype, going to the Share tab and selecting a specific flow automatically highlights all of the screens that are within that flow. And so when you go to the Prototype tab, you can see all of the connections on that flow. This is especially useful if you have hundreds of artboards and you want to see how they're all connected and why there's one straggler looming off into the distance. Getting into it, we're going to be sharing the My Presentation, and this is going to be in the presentation mode. Right now it's in design review, and this is a way to get comments and feedback on your flows, but for now we're going to click presentation. And I want anyone with the link to be able to view it. I'm going to create the link and it takes a hot second for it to load, but now as you can see we have our new link and it is freshly updated. On the side here you're able to copy the link, copy the code, or share to Behance. And sharing on Behance brings all of your artboards into the Behance project creation interface, and this way you can just upload and post your work directly onto Behance. And as for the code, it just creates an iframe for you to share out into the world. You're also able to share this via email, and so here you can invite people to the link and it'll send off an invite to their email. But now let's say that we want to share the About Me, but we don't want the title screen to be the title screen anymore. We want it to be a section. And so I'm going to say My Conclusion. So this is going to lead into the conclusion screen. But because our share link was made several minutes ago, My Conclusion will not be included in that link. And we can double check now that I've made that change that our presentation does not include conclusion. And if I click continue, it works perfectly. So Now that we have made the adjustments that we want to the About Me link, I want this to go into design review. And by setting it to design review, I'm able to get comments. And I want my coworker to take a look at my presentation and make sure it all looks good. I am going to add her. So now our invitation is sent, and I'm going to let her know that I want her feedback on it. Hello? Hi. I'm making a video right now. I sent you an invite to a link on XD. Could you just make a comment on it? It doesn't have to be anything specific.
Alright, I commented.
Thank you. That is all.
Can't wait to see the final result.
Yeah, I hope it works out. Alright, so I let my coworker know that I would like her feedback on my presentation, and she has gone ahead and done that. And so, as you can see in my Creative Cloud icon up here, I have a notification. I have 4 of them actually. I'm going to click inside, and as you can see, my coworker has added a comment, and she's wondering if I'm missing some emoji. And since I already read it, I'm going to mark as read. I'm going to go ahead and click this, and it'll take me over to the XD link, where on my About Me design review link, it brings us to a comment where she has left a pin where our emojis usually are, but they aren't showing up because XD does not allow live text emojis in their files, I guess. So we'll have to put these in as PNGs and then re-update the link for her. But before I make that change, let's take a look at this interface. We have the ability to make our own comments and reply to comments, and we're able to @mention specific users, and we're also able to resolve comments, but we're going to save the resolve for after I make these adjustments. Also, our comments are organized by artboard, and so we're able to minimize the amount of comments we see by what screen we're currently viewing. Right now we're on the My Conclusion screen, and there aren't any comments on this screen, which is the only highlighted section right now, but we do have comments on the favorite emoji screen. But let's say that we have a lot to go through and we don't want to see it all at once, so we're able to specify that we only want to see comments from the screen that we're currently on. But if I click over using this navigation at the bottom, we are back to the emojis and back to Anna's comment. We're also able to filter our comments by viewers, so if there are a lot of people commenting, time of day it was commented, or the status, otherwise known as resolved. And since we haven't resolved Anna's comment yet, if we click this, it won't appear in the screen. Also, if you're reviewing comments and you're annoyed that all of the pins are visible on the screen and it's obscuring some of the content on the screen, like maybe very minuscule interface details, you're able to hide all of those annotations, otherwise known as pins, by doing that. And so if I want Anna to take a closer look at, let's say, I want her opinion on this meme here, I can place a specific pin on this meme, say, what are your thoughts on the wine cat meme? And if I hit @ it'll only suggest people who have already visited this page and left comments. So if you want to include someone new, like let's say my coworker Nick, he won't appear because I haven't sent this link to him and he hasn't entered the document and left his own comments yet. So we're just going to send this to Anna and hit submit. If you find yourself entering an XD link with offensive content, problematic content, or content that you feel might be stolen, XD has also included the option to report abuse in this bottom right corner. And here you can leave a note for Adobe to have the content removed. And going full screen mode mimics that presentation mode that we saw before. And then by hitting escape, we can exit out of the full screen mode. And this is just so that by having your link specifically as presentation mode, you can avoid clients from seeing design notes or comments left in the original design review link. Now that we've gone over the design review link, I'm going to make those updates to the emojis and get back to you all. Alright, so we got the emojis in, and they are all PNGs, as you can see here. now that I've got all of these new assets into my file, I want Anna to be able to download them if she wants. This might be useful in the case that you're working with developers. They need the ability to access what fonts you're using, what size the fonts are, the hex codes, etc. So in order to do that, specifically for downloadable assets like icons, for example, or other vector content, PNGs, images that you've dropped in, we are able to mark those for export, which is this very bottom option on the edit panel. So if we mark this rat as an exportable item, when we go to update this link, Anna will be able to download this content. So we are going to mark all of these for export. Perfect, and I want her to also be able to download my memoji and maybe even the wine cat meme. So now all of our assets are marked as exportable, and we can go ahead, select our About Me link, go to Share, and change from Design Review to Development. Design Review does not give you the option to download assets, but here we are able to select downloadable assets. And since Anna already has the link, we don't need to re-invite her at all, we just need to update the link, and then let her know that it's been updated. So we are just going to open up this link again. I'm going to keep our old link available, but if we refresh this original tab that we were on, it will make all of those changes visible. So as you can see here, there's no emojis, but if we go here, there are emojis. And as you can see on the side, we are still able to view our comments even though we've switched it to development mode, but we are now able to acquire the finer details such as the font and the size of the font and what colors we're using. Also, we're able to view the assets that are specific to this artboard, and it also means that if we go to this screen, it shows that we only have one single image on this artboard. So if we go over here, and let's say that we want only these ones because these ones have background colors on them. And if we make this a PNG export and hit download, it'll appear as a zip file that takes the name of the current artboard that it's on. So another reason to keep your artboards named correctly, because all of the assets are going to be downloaded with that name. And it's also useful to name your layers properly, because as you can see, I only named rat. For all you interface designers out there using styles and color swatches, all of those will appear in this very final third tab. But any components will be included here if you have them marked for exports. Components will not appear in this asset panel, I believe. So now that we've added all of our emojis in, I'm going to click Resolve. And now if I want to view that comment again, I can go into here. And as you can see, since I made that one comment about the cat meme, my name is now appearing under viewers. So now that we've covered these first three, we're going to try out user testing. So I've created a new starter screen to a new flow that is called user testing and includes all 5 of these artboards. About Me only includes these 4 and my presentation only includes those 2, but user testing includes all of them. And so this will be switched to the user testing view setting, and it'll only be available to people with the link. So now, if we view the link for user testing, works the same way as the presentation mode where it's full screen, and if we remove the tabs, it aligns to the top left corner. But it's important to note that in the user testing screen, it doesn't show you the hit spots when you click around on the screen. But we know that we have a hotspot here where the continue button is, but if we're clicking, it doesn't show. But if we go into the design review or the development mode, and we go full screen, it'll show the hotspot hint when the user misclicks. But let's say that we want our users to be able to not see the hotspots open in full screen mode, but we also want them to allow for comments, because right now our user testing screen does not allow for comments, and we want people to leave feedback potentially. So in order to do that, we're going to open up the view settings, and instead of these first 4 options, we're going to hit custom. We want to allow comments, but we want our prototype to open in full screen, and we also want to show hotspots in case the user misclicks. Navigation control includes the arrows that we usually see down here at the bottom where the home button is, but we don't need to include those because the users that will be viewing this won't be viewing it like a presentation, let's say. They're going to be viewing it like a prototype. And then we're going to update the link, and our new and improved user testing view option is complete. And if we refresh this page, it will reflect those updates. So now we have the ability to leave comments. Even though this is sharing a few screens from one of the links that has comments on it, those comments don't appear here because it's an entirely new link. So that concludes our TED Talk on XD share links. There's been a lot of updates to XD share links in the recent past, so I figured I'd cover some of those. And yeah, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye!